We are at the 2022 NPC Wheelchair Nationals, and I'm here with
James Smith.
Oh, so where are you from, James?
I'm from Bellingham, Washington.
Oh man, so I've seen stuff you competed. How many times have you competed before Nationals?
3 times in the Pacific Northwest. I won the Triple Crown Championship for 3 victories.
So then now this is the 4th show. So
yeah.
Here you're competing and it's a different vibe. So how was it when you're on stage with the other athletes to this level of competition?
Oh, it was a whole different thing. The competing against the other guys and being judged and being reviewed by the judges was a lot different than the other shows that I've been in, and they made us work out there and it was fun.
Yeah,
it's part of it that I wanted to do.
Right, because when you're out there, at this level, they want to compare because they're going to see who's deserving of the pro card. Which you won your division and you got to the point where you were just this close getting your pro card, but this is your first nationals.
Yeah.
So when you're out there and you see the crowd, how did that make you feel?
It made me feel good. I like being on the stage and love being under the lights.
So when the people are looking at you, many people are just looking there and they're thinking, why is he in the wheelchair? Because that's the obvious. We're all in the wheelchair. So why are you in the wheelchair and what happened? Tell us your story because people don't know.
In 2006, I was an iron worker. I was building a library in Burlington, Washington. I was picking up a structural column and it tipped over the forklift that I was picking it up with. I made the mistake of exiting the forklift because there was no safety equipment inside of the forklift. And it struck me in the middle of the back at T10, which is about belly button level, but in the back. It folded me in half. My head hit my heels, and it transected my spinal cord completely.
So, if you didn't catch that, so here's his body. He's facing this way. So, this is the front. So it bent him this way. So his back of his heels touched his head like this. So it snapped him in half. And then what'd you say about your rib cage?
It broke, I think, 24 ribs. I broke both collarbones, shattered my scapula, and did some other things too. Dual pneumothorax, both lungs collapsed.
So your ribs popped. Did anything come out the skin?
No. Nope, it was all contained. I have no idea what I looked like. I was in a coma for 2 weeks, so it was pretty black and blue, but they put me in a turtle shell immediately.
So let's put it in perspective. Just imagine taking a pencil and just pressing it in half, but backwards. That's what happened to James. So
completely snapped.
So when you exited and the forklift hit you, how big was this forklift?
Well, it's 20-ton forklift.
Okay, so it's 20 tons. Put that in perspective. Go figure, that's how it snapped. So was you awake? Did you feel pains when it snapped you?
Yes. Yeah, I never lost consciousness. I didn't feel any pain because...
Wait, you was awake?
I was awake the whole time.
So did you feel... So you're awake and it snaps you, so you don't feel any pain?
No, I lost all sensation underneath where the injury was. The biggest thing was I couldn't breathe. But I immediately, right as I got hit, I said, "Call Harborview. It's not good." Harborview's our major trauma center in Bellingham or in Washington. So,
how do you not feel pain when that's and you're awake?
I have no idea.
So
the paramedics were only about 2 minutes away. They were right across the street, and so I had to keep myself breathing. And then I begged them to intubate me, because I knew I couldn't keep breathing, but they just said, "No, you get to keep breathing."
So when you were laying there and awake, did you try to get up, or you're just kind of like, ah?
At first, I just thought it was done. I thought it was over.
So you thought you're dead?
I told my apprentice to tell my wife and kids that I loved them, and I was like, you know what? I don't think I want to go yet.
So you're awake. So when did you go in a coma?
When they got me to the hospital, when they did the surgery for the decompression. And they took my spleen also. They just induced me into a coma at that point and just kept me there.
Did anything else break?
A lot of stuff, maybe. Not my spirit, I guess.
So when you finally woke up from the coma, what was going through your mind?
The first thing they said is, "You'll never walk again." And I was just like, I guess it is what it is. Let's do this. What do we do next? Unfortunately, they didn't have a whole lot of answers of what to do next. I had to figure that out myself.
Go figure, right? So what was going through your mind? Did depression set in?
Yeah.
So what was you thinking?
I never really got suicidal or anything, but it was just really down. I didn't know how to live this new life. I had 27 years of being an able-bodied person, and now I'm in a chair, and it's a whole different thing.
So a lot of people are struggling with depression and stuff like that. So what was the thing that you went from a depression? What was the snapping to get you out?
I think reaching out to other people is a big, important thing in that, to get out of that kind of depression. And it's been 15 years, almost 16, and the depression comes back sometimes. And the last couple of years, I found the gym is probably the best solution for me. I don't do any of the medications or anything. I'd rather just stick with just getting the energy out and doing something productive.
So if people watching this and hearing your story, what are the words of advice would you give to them saying, you know what, if I can do it, you can do it too?
Just don't give up. I mean, that's really the only thing I go off of is everything seems to be so hard until I get over it. And so, I just don't quit. I don't have quit in me. I don't know where I got that from, but I'm glad I got it.
Well, you look phenomenal, man, and it was a tough battle. So, and I hope to see you back here next year because you would be a phenomenal pro down the road. Because it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
James,
all right,
pleasure.
Thank you.
And you heard that from James, signing off at the 2022 NPC Wheelchair Nationals.